Found the car company that shouldn't exist. In the summer of 2003, while General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler dominated American roads with their century-old empires, a small group of Silicon Valley engineers gathered in a modest office space in San Carlos, California, with an audacious plan that defied every lesson in automotive history. Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, armed with nothing but laptops and an unshakable belief that electric cars could be desirable, founded Tesla Motors with the revolutionary premise that they could build a car company from scratch and not just survive, but fundamentally transform an industry that had crushed every startup challenger for decades. The automotive graveyard was littered with the remains of ambitious dreamers. Tucker, which lasted just 2 years before folding in 1948 after producing only 51 cars, DeLorean, which burned through hundreds of millions before collapsing in scandal, and dozens of other forgotten names that learned the brutal truth that building cars requires not just vision, but manufacturing expertise, supply chain mastery, regulatory navigation, and capital reserves that most nations would envy. The conventional wisdom was ironclad and backed by cold mathematics. It takes billions of dollars, decades of experience, and institutional knowledge accumulated over generations to compete with automakers who had perfected their craft since the days of the Model T. Yet Tesla's founders looked at this impossible landscape and saw opportunity, betting everything on a simple but heretical belief that the future of transportation would be electric and that the established giants were too invested in the past to lead that transition. What happened next would rewrite the rules of business itself, proving that sometimes the most impossible dreams become inevitable realities when stubborn visionaries refuse to accept that something can't be done. The early days of Tesla read like a masterclass in how not to start a car company. Yet somehow these missteps became the foundation of revolutionary thinking that would eventually topple automotive orthodoxy. Eberhard and Tarpening's first major decision violated every principle of automotive business strategy. Instead of starting with an affordable economy car to achieve volume and scale, they deliberately chose to build an expensive, high-performance sports car that would compete directly with Ferrari and Lamborghini, reasoning that wealthy early adopters would pay premium prices for cutting-edge technology and that the margins from luxury vehicles could fund the development of mass-market models. This backward approach seemed insane to industry veterans who knew that automotive success required massive scale from day one, but Tesla's founders understood something their critics missed. Electric vehicle technology was still prohibitively expensive, so attempting to build a cheap electric car would result in a product that was both expensive and inferior, while building an expensive electric car could be both expensive and superior. The Tesla Roadster, unveiled in 2006, shattered every preconception about electric vehicles with its stunning specifications: 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, a range of 245 miles per charge, and the sleek, aggressive styling of a Lotus Elise chassis that made Priuses look like rolling appliances by comparison. The automotive press, initially skeptical of another Silicon Valley publicity stunt, found themselves forced to reckon with a machine that could outperform most gasoline supercars while producing zero emissions and operating costs of just 2 cents per mile. But impressive specifications on paper meant nothing without the ability to actually manufacture and deliver vehicles, and Tesla's learning curve was about to become steeper than anyone anticipated, as the company discovered that the gap between prototype and production was measured not in months but in years of expensive, frustrating iteration. Behind Tesla's polished marketing and ambitious promises lay a manufacturing reality that would have broken most entrepreneurs, as the company burned through money and deadlines while learning hard lessons that established automakers had mastered generations earlier. The original plan called for Tesla to simply purchase Lotus Elise chassis and drop in electric powertrains, but this apparently simple modification required redesigning virtually every system in the car, from the basic structure that needed to accommodate heavy battery packs to the cooling systems that had to manage thermal dynamics completely different from internal combustion engines. Tesla's engineers, brilliant as they were in software and electronics, found themselves reinventing automotive engineering from first principles, discovering that moving from computer simulations to physical reality meant confronting thousands of tiny problems that individually seemed trivial but collectively threatened to sink the entire enterprise. The Roadster's development costs spiraled from initial estimates of $25 million to over $140 million. while delivery dates slipped again and again as Tesla grappled with supply chain complexity, quality control issues, and the sobering realization that automotive manufacturing requires precision and reliability standards that make even aerospace engineering seem forgiving. Early customers who had paid deposits found themselves waiting years for vehicles, testing the patience of even Tesla's most enthusiastic supporters and providing ammunition for critics who insisted that Silicon Valley arrogance was no match for Detroit expertise. The financial pressure became crushing as Tesla burned through venture capital at an alarming rate while generating virtually no revenue, forcing the company to constantly raise additional funding just to survive long enough to deliver its first production vehicles. Yet this crucible of manufacturing hell taught Tesla lessons that would prove invaluable later. How to iterate rapidly, how to solve problems creatively without the burden of legacy thinking, and how to build a company culture that treated seemingly impossible challenges as engineering puzzles rather than insurmountable obstacles. The arrival of Elon Musk in 2004 as Tesla's largest investor and chairman marked the beginning of the company's transformation from ambitious startup to the most audacious automotive gamble in modern history, bringing not just capital, but a vision so expansive that it redefined what Tesla could become. Musk, fresh from selling PayPal to eBay for over $1 billion, invested $7 million of his own money into Tesla's Series A funding round. But more importantly, he brought an outsider's perspective unencumbered by automotive industry conventional wisdom and a track record of building companies that succeeded by ignoring what experts claimed was impossible. His background in software and space exploration gave him unique insights into systems thinking and manufacturing scalability that traditional automotive executives lacked, while his willingness to bet his entire fortune on Tesla's success signaled to employees, customers, and investors that this was more than just another rich man's hobby project. Musk's influence on Tesla's strategy was immediate and profound. He pushed for more aggressive performance targets, insisted on controlling every aspect of the customer experience from online sales to service, and articulated a master plan that positioned Tesla not just as a car company, but as a sustainable energy company that would accelerate the world's transition away from fossil fuels. The Roadster, under Musk's leadership, evolved from a niche electric sports car into a proof of concept for Tesla's larger ambitions, demonstrating that electric vehicles could be desirable, high performing, and profitable while serving as a technology testbed for the mass market vehicles that would follow. When the first production Roadster finally rolled off Tesla's assembly line in 2008, it represented more than just a successful product launch. It was vindication of the contrarian belief that a small startup could out innovate established giants by thinking fundamentally differently about transportation, manufacturing, and the relationship between technology and consumer desire. The Roadster's success, limited though its production numbers were, proved that there was a market for premium electric vehicles and that Tesla had solved the basic engineering challenges that had defeated previous electric car attempts, setting the stage for the company's next and most audacious gamble, building a luxury sedan that would compete directly with BMW and Mercedes-Benz. The development of the Model S represented Tesla's evolution from boutique sports car manufacturer to serious automotive competitor, as the company attempted to create a luxury sedan that would prove electric vehicles could be practical, beautiful, and superior to gasoline alternatives in every meaningful way. Where the Roadster had been essentially a modified existing platform, the Model S was Tesla's first ground-up vehicle design, requiring the company to master every aspect of automotive engineering from aerodynamics to interior design, while simultaneously developing the manufacturing capabilities to produce tens of thousands of vehicles annually. The technical challenges were staggering. Tesla needed to develop its own battery technology, electric motors, power electronics, and software systems while creating a vehicle architecture flexible enough to accommodate different battery sizes, performance levels, and feature configurations. The Model S design philosophy rejected the compromises that had defined previous electric vehicles, instead embracing the unique advantages of electric propulsion to create a car that was simultaneously more spacious, more efficient, and more technologically advanced than any gasoline competitor. Tesla's engineers placed the battery pack in the floor of the vehicle, creating an extremely low center of gravity that enhanced handling while freeing up interior space traditionally occupied by engines, transmissions, and fuel tanks, resulting in a sedan with sports car dynamics, limousine comfort, and SUV cargo capacity. The car's software centric architecture meant that Tesla could continuously improve vehicle performance, add new features, and fix problems through over the air updates, transforming cars from static products into continuously evolving platforms that became more capable over time. When the Model S entered production in 2012, it immediately redefined automotive benchmarks, achieving a 5-star safety rating in every category, delivering over the air software updates that added new features and improved performance, and offering acceleration that embarrassed most sports cars while providing the quiet, smooth operation that made gasoline engines seem crude and antiquated by comparison. Tesla's approach to manufacturing the Model S revealed the company's willingness to challenge every automotive industry assumption, as Musk and his team constructed a production system that prioritized flexibility and continuous improvement over the rigid efficiency that had defined automotive manufacturing for decades. Rather than outsourcing production to established contract manufacturers, Tesla chose to build its own factory, purchasing a massive 5.5 million square foot facility in Fremont, California, that had previously been operated as a joint venture between General Motors and Toyota, giving Tesla instant access to automotive grade manufacturing infrastructure at a fraction of the cost of building from scratch. The decision to manufacture in California, where labor costs were significantly higher than traditional automotive centers, reflected Tesla's belief that proximity to Silicon Valley's talent pool and supplier ecosystem outweighed the financial advantages of lower cost locations, while also making a statement that American manufacturing could compete globally through innovation rather than just cost reduction. Tesla's production philosophy emphasized automation and vertical integration to a degree that even established automakers found extreme, with robots handling tasks traditionally performed by human workers, while Tesla brought in house many components that other manufacturers routinely outsourced to suppliers. This approach created enormous complexity and initial inefficiency, as Tesla's engineers had to simultaneously debug vehicle designs, manufacturing processes, and automation systems, leading to production bottlenecks and quality issues that provided ammunition for critics who insisted that there were good reasons why automotive manufacturing had evolved the way it had. Yet Tesla's willingness to endure short-term pain for long-term advantage meant that the company developed manufacturing capabilities that were fundamentally different from traditional automakers, with the ability to rapidly iterate designs, implement changes across entire production lines, and achieve levels of customization that mass production vehicles had never offered before. The Model S production ramp, painful as it was, taught Tesla that manufacturing was not just about building products, but about building systems that could continuously improve and adapt, laying the groundwork for the company's most ambitious project yet, bringing electric vehicles to the mass market. The announcement of the Model 3 in 2016 represented Tesla's most audacious bet yet, as the company promised to deliver a high-quality electric vehicle for $35,000 while scaling production to levels that would transform Tesla from niche manufacturer to major automotive player capable of producing hundreds of thousands of vehicles annually. The Model 3's unveiling generated unprecedented consumer response, with Tesla receiving over 400,000 reservations within weeks of the announcement, representing potential revenue of over $14 billion and proving that consumer appetite for affordable electric vehicles far exceeded even Tesla's optimistic projections. But reservations were meaningless without the ability to manufacture vehicles at scale, and Tesla's production targets for the Model 3 were so aggressive that they required the company to increase its manufacturing capacity by over 10 times, while simultaneously reducing costs and maintaining quality standards that would satisfy mass market consumers rather than early adopters willing to overlook imperfections. Musk's promise to reach production rates of 10,000 vehicles per week meant that Tesla would need to solve manufacturing challenges that had taken established automakers decades to master, compressing learning curves that traditionally measured in years into months of intensive problem solving and continuous iteration. The Model 3 production ramp became a public spectacle as Tesla struggled with what Musk called production hell, missing delivery targets, burning through cash reserves, and facing constant criticism from analysts who predicted that the company would collapse under the weight of its own ambitions.
Tesla's stock price became a daily referendum on the company's survival chances, swinging wildly based on weekly production reports, quality concerns, and Musk's increasingly erratic public behavior as the pressure of scaling manufacturing while maintaining innovation threatened to overwhelm even Tesla's resilient corporate culture. The stakes could not have been higher. Failure to successfully launch the Model 3 would not only bankrupt Tesla, but would also set back the electric vehicle industry by years, while success would prove that sustainable transportation was not just possible, but inevitable, forcing every automaker in the world to accelerate their own electric vehicle programs or risk obsolescence.
Tesla's emergence from Model 3 production hell marked the company's transformation from ambitious startup to formidable automotive force, as successful mass production proved that Tesla had mastered the fundamental challenges of manufacturing while maintaining the innovation edge that differentiated its vehicles from traditional competitors. By 2019, Tesla was producing Model 3 sedans at rates that exceeded the combined production of all other electric vehicles in the United States, while achieving profit margins that proved electric vehicles could be financially sustainable without requiring permanent subsidies or regulatory mandates. The Model 3's success validated Tesla's entire strategic approach, from direct-to-consumer sales that eliminated dealer markups to over-the-air software updates that continuously improved vehicle functionality, creating a ownership experience so superior to traditional automotive models that Tesla achieved customer satisfaction scores that exceeded luxury brands while selling vehicles at mainstream prices. Tesla's technological leadership became undeniable as the company's vehicles consistently achieved the longest range, fastest charging, and most advanced autonomous driving capabilities in the electric vehicle market, while Tesla's supercharger network provided charging infrastructure that made electric vehicle ownership practical even for long-distance travel. The company's financial performance reflected this technological success, as Tesla achieved profitability while maintaining growth rates that traditional automakers could not match, proving that the electric vehicle transition was not just an environmental imperative, but also a business opportunity that rewarded companies capable of thinking beyond incremental improvements to existing technologies. Tesla's market capitalization surpassed that of General Motors and Ford combined, reflecting investor confidence that the future of transportation would be electric and that Tesla's technological advantages would translate into sustained competitive advantages even as established automakers introduced their own electric vehicles. The company's success forced a complete reevaluation of automotive industry dynamics as suppliers, regulators, and competitors acknowledged that Tesla had successfully challenged assumptions that had seemed unshakable just a few years earlier, proving that innovation and execution could overcome even the most formidable barriers to entry. Tesla's impact on the automotive industry extends far beyond its own vehicle sales, as the company's success has accelerated the electric vehicle transition across every major automaker and transformed global automotive strategy in ways that seemed impossible when Tesla was founded. Every major automotive manufacturer now has announced aggressive electric vehicle programs, with companies like General Motors pledging to eliminate gasoline vehicles entirely by 2035 and Volkswagen investing over $80 billion in electric vehicle development, representing a complete strategic reversal driven primarily by Tesla's demonstration that electric vehicles could be superior products rather than environmental compromises. The ripple effects of Tesla's success have transformed entire industries, from battery manufacturing, where Tesla's partnership with Panasonic and plans for massive gigafactories have driven down costs and increased production capacity globally, to charging infrastructure, where Tesla's supercharger network has forced governments and private companies to invest billions in charging networks that make electric vehicle ownership practical for mainstream consumers. Tesla's direct-to-consumer sales model has challenged franchise dealer laws across the United States, forcing regulatory changes that benefit all automotive manufacturers while demonstrating that traditional distribution models were protecting inefficiencies rather than serving consumer interests. The company's software-centric approach has redefined automotive product development as traditional automakers scramble to develop over-the-air update capabilities and integrated software platforms that can match Tesla's ability to continuously improve vehicle functionality after purchase. Tesla's manufacturing innovations, from extreme automation to vertical integration, have influenced production strategies across the automotive industry, While the company's ability to achieve premium pricing for electric vehicles has proven that sustainability can be a luxury feature rather than a sacrifice that consumers must make for environmental reasons. The transformation is so complete that automotive industry analysts now measure traditional automakers by their progress toward electrification rather than their traditional strengths in internal combustion technology, representing a fundamental shift in how success is defined and measured in one of the world's largest industries. Today, Tesla stands as proof that the impossible is merely untested. Having built a company worth over $800 billion in an industry where experts insisted that new entrants could not survive, while fundamentally transforming global transportation in ways that will reverberate for generations. The company that began in a Silicon Valley office space with no manufacturing experience, no automotive expertise, and no realistic path to profitability has become the world's most valuable automaker while forcing every competitor to abandon strategies that had defined success for over a century. Tesla's journey from the Roadster's hand-built production to the Model 3's mass market success demonstrates that visionary leadership, combined with relentless execution and willingness to challenge conventional wisdom, can overcome barriers that seem insurmountable to those trapped within existing paradigms. The company's success has validated the broader principle that technological disruption rewards those who imagine entirely new possibilities rather than incrementally improving existing solutions, proving that sometimes the best way to compete with established giants is to change the rules of competition entirely. Tesla's influence extends beyond automotive manufacturing to energy storage, solar power, and autonomous driving, positioning the company at the center of multiple technological revolutions that will define the next phase of industrial development. The broader lesson of Tesla's success story is that empire building in the modern economy requires not just capital and execution, but the courage to pursue visions that seem impossible until they become inevitable, and the persistence to continue innovating even after achieving initial success. Tesla's transformation from startup to industry leader demonstrates that in a world where technological change is accelerating, the companies that survive and thrive are those that embrace disruption as opportunity rather than threat, building empires not by protecting existing advantages, but by continuously creating new ones that competitors cannot match.